everyone, my name is Hugh Sweeney. I'm a videographer and filmmaker, and about 2 weeks ago I was up with the guys in DroneWorks Ireland shooting some promotional content for them. Now the DJI Mini 3 Pro had just arrived in their hands and they asked me if I wanted to shoot an unboxing. So I filmed an unboxing whilst I was there, but it was sort of a waste of time because I hadn't used the drone and I didn't know that much about it. So I brought the Mini Pro down to Galway with me to try it out, and the first evening I went out to fly, it was incredibly windy. And it wasn't a nice evening for flying a drone because it was dark and gloomy as well. But I was very impressed at how well such a light drone handled the wind and how good a job the gimbal did in giving me perfectly stable, usable footage. There was no evidence at all that the drone was flying in really windy conditions. I found it to be a pleasure to fly, really easy, really straightforward. And before I knew it, I was getting nice shots. Now the Mini 3 Pro has what you call Tri-Directional obstacle sensing, so that the sensors on the front, the sensors on the bottom and sensors on the back. Now there's no sensors on the side, but I did notice that the sensors on the front were very quick to detect objects close to the side of the drone. So it was very, very reliable flying it in enclosed areas. You just knew you weren't going to hit anything. And you can set it in different ways too, to either, go around or go over stuff. Now there's a couple of different modes you can fly in as well, and you can switch very quickly between them. From cine mode to neutral mode, which is kind of a standard flying mode, and then of course you have sport mode if you want to up the pace a little bit. Now with sport mode, this drone is capable of very decent speeds. It might be as fast as some of the other more premium drones, but it really is more than fast enough for anything I would want to use it for. Now in cine mode, you have fantastic control. I didn't for a second even think of tweaking the settings to suit myself. I found myself being able to just get really nice controlled movements of the drone via the RC controller here. Now if you want to buy the Mini 3 Pro with this controller, it's going to cost you just over £1,000 at €1,019. You don't have to worry about calls coming in, you don't have to worry about your phone overheating. Plus the brightness of these screens is much better than your phone too in sunny days, and it's just a pleasure to use this. Now if you don't want to get this controller, you can use the standard one and get yourself flying for about €839, but for that extra €180 it really is worth it, and for me it's a no-brainer to pick this up. Plus, as far as I know, you're actually able to use this controller now with other drones. So if you have the likes of a Mavic 3 or an Air 2S and you don't have a controller with an inbuilt screen and you're looking to buy a second drone for backup, this could be a really good option. You can get a Flymore kit as well, which includes a two-way charging hub, shoulder bag, 2 Mini 3 Pro propellers, some screws for the propellers, a USB Type-C cable, a shoulder bag, and 2 intelligent flight batteries as well. So that could be well worth it for an extra €190. So let's talk about the quality from the image. I was impressed straight away. Firstly, at the dynamic range, I noticed that it was picking up all the details in the sky, in the clouds. I didn't see anything blowing out, and that can be an issue with flying drones because you've an area of huge dynamic range. So the video was very good out of the box. I really liked the 4K 60 as well. Usually with these drones there's a little bit of a compromise in quality when you up the frame rates, but I didn't really notice any difference between 60 frames per second and 24. I thought the quality was fantastic. Now if you want to shoot at even slower settings, you can shoot at 120 frames per second in 1080, and that'll be perfect for those really cool social media videos and stuff. 1080 is fine. You also have the option of 2.7K as well. With images, you can take super high detailed images that are over 8,000 pixels wide by 6,000 pixels high. They are huge files at almost 100 megabytes each, but it's brilliant to have the ability to take such detailed images with a small drone like this. If you want as well, there's all sorts of photography settings where you can put together panoramic images and get the drone to actually stitch together a super wide angle image. Now, social media has recently sort of forced us into this portrait mode thing where we all have to try and get as much real estate because people are too lazy to flip their phones and look at a landscape image. It is great to have the portrait ability. This lens will let you shoot in portrait mode and just flip the lens up at 90 degrees because it's a lot better shooting in portrait mode than just cropping in a portrait image out of a landscape shot. So I tried some of the tracking features on the Mini 3 and I found it to be very, very good. One thing that I loved about it is the lateral tracking, in which you can walk in this direction and the drone will keep up with you from the side. I found that to be very, very useful, and I hadn't used that before in any drone. There's also front tracking as well, in which the drone will reverse up as you walk forward. Now the Mini 3 has other features as well in the software, in which you can actually pre-program the drone just to fly around you in an orbit corkscrew kind of manner, and other stuff too. I didn't go down that route yet, When it comes to battery life, on paper it'll tell you that it's going to deliver 34 minutes. That is with the standard battery. Now in windy conditions, the drone is going to have to put a lot more effort into just maintaining its position, so it's going to eat up battery more. But I can safely say that you'll get a good 20 minutes in the air even in windy conditions like I did. And that's plenty of time normally to capture what you want. The calmer it is and the less flying you do, the more battery life you're going to get. But ideally it's always a good idea with these drones to have a couple of batteries with you. Now I'm not sure about the battery plus, I haven't used that. I think as far as I know you can't use that in Europe, which is a shame, as that would be a good option that will give you up to 47 minutes flight time. I'm sure that's compromised slightly again if it's windy, but it's definitely going to last a lot longer, and it would be a nice option if you can get your hands on one of those. So who is the Mini 3 for? That is the question. Who should buy this drone? Initially I would have thought that this was aimed at the real social media user with that, you know, portrait camera and its compact size. And of course it is. It's a brilliant drone for the vlogger, YouTuber, you know, active person who has a social media page that wants to just capture aerials. But it's more than just that. I would say that it's actually a great backup drone as well. Say if you own a Mavic or another drone in which you use professionally, it's nice to have this in the bag because it's going to deliver the same type of image. And if anything happened to your A drone, this could be your B drone that you take out. Now you might get hired by the BBC to shoot the latest Planet Earth video for David Attenborough, but this is more than good enough for shooting all those sort of corporate movies, like videos for hotels, videos for businesses, real estate, and the rest. It's also a great first buyer's drone. If you've never owned a drone before and you want to get into flying and capturing aerial shots, I think this is a great place to start. It's a no-brainer. Sometimes with drones, you know, you have them in a box with a lot of batteries and it's kind of hassle to bring it with you. But with this, it's almost like the drone you just bring with you everywhere and have it on you in the car so that if you're passing something, you can just capture a quick shot. You don't have to put much work to get this little fella in the air, so it's very convenient and the results it gets are very professional. I've loved flying it and I'll be sad giving it back to the lads at DroneWorks Ireland. Now speaking of DroneWorks Ireland, if you do want to get your hands on a DJI Mini 3, give them a shout. They will look after you, tell you what's the best package suitable for you, and they'll also look after you in terms of after-sales service as well. So give them a shout, tell them I sent you, and hopefully soon you'll be up in the air with your very first DJI Mini 3 Pro. So that's all from myself, Hugh Sweeney. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next video, it's over and out from me, and take care.